heat races ready to rock and roll for the senior mini dwarfs. Got one lap to go before we go green. Senior mini dwarfs. So these kids are ages about 6, no more about 7 to 12, I would say. We go green. We are racing. And you see them diving into turn number 1. Contact, 4 wide, 3 wide. They're stuck together down the back straightaway. Cheyenne Flippo in the number 00. Going to the back. Now we got a battle for the lead. Steven Johnson on the inside of the number 23 of Caden Cochran. Anthony Balcazar in the number 17 in Cho. And you see a big move of Claiborne, the number 34. So Steven Johnson in the number 26. Your leader, lap number 3. Field pretty much single file, except for you see the 76 of Chloe Jones battling out with the 00 of Cheyenne Flippo. Here comes Balcazar in the number 17 to the inside of Cochran, makes the pass for 3rd, and a bit of a crossover out of turn number 4. White flag flying, 1 lap to go for Steven Johnson as number 26, senior mini dwarf. He'll come out of turn number 4, checkered flag, your winner. So a relatively clean senior mini dwarf race. Actually, that's as clean as it can get. For the senior mini dwarf C race number 2, we thought to go green, but apparently not. So in this field, the number 19 that is driven by Bailey Thompson. I got to look at what I'm doing here. Announcing and filming. Exciting action. Jacob Carey in the number 2. The number 86, big contact. Was fighting for 3rd and now is backwards in dead last, making a U-turn. No caution. That'll help the 68 of Sunny Simpkins, the 92 of Riley Miller. And the number 04, that is Riley Massey. Your field of senior mini dwarfs in this second heat race. Battle for the lead brewing up here. Bailey Thompson holding on, but trying to defend that lead from the number 2, Jacob Carey. Carey, a multi-time main event winner out here at Bakersfield Speedway. One of the fun things that we enjoy here with the junior and senior mini dwarfs are the difference in body styles. Take a look, we've got a miniature modified in front of what looks to be like a dwarf car style. And then you see this thing, it's like a truck. 3rd place, Sunny Simpkins. White flag out for your leader. Checkered flag, actually. So Bailey Thompson holds on for her win in the second senior mini dwarfs. But always fun to see the difference of fabrication of bodies. There's 2 trucks and then another 1940s hardtop style machine. So those are the 2 heat races so far for the senior mini dwarfs. These people are in for a treat. If they're a fan of low budget TV, they're going to be in for the long haul with us this year. Because like we'd mentioned, or like I'd mentioned, we're going to be doing this for like upwards of 40 times this year. So you're going to see a lot of action. Oh. If you follow along with us, all season long.
Those poor people.
Oh yeah. Well, we're getting ready to go. Green.
All right, green flag is in the air. And into turn number 1. We'll see if this one could go a little bit cleaner. It does than the previous heat race where we saw one car go around right into turn number 1. I figured out that problem.
What are you doing? You're playing with the microphone over there. We got the 12 car bringing out the caution.
I think my microphone and the 12 are kindred spirits.
Maybe both of you guys were cutting off in audio versus engine.
I believe the cable was just a little bit loose. Tommy, an exciting night of racing ahead of us. And like you mentioned, really exciting for us to bring it to everybody. Also, for those that are new to Low Budget TV, what we'll do, and you'll kind of notice this as it goes throughout the night, is we also cater to the racers, cater to the fans at the track. So what we do is we put together DVDs of the event, and also post our heat races on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is LBTV Productions. You could catch some of the wackiness from last year up there, heat race action.
A whole lot of wackiness, by the way.
Yeah, and it's not going to get any better this year, I can tell you that already. But yeah, so I mean, this is exciting. So, you know,
Yeah, this is just a start.
Low Budget TV teaming up with Race Feed X, and yeah, what a start to the year, Tommy. I know that our first show of 2015 that we were streaming was actually out in Arizona.
Yep.
Arizona Speedway was our first ever Arizona coverage event.
Yeah, we've never filmed an event out at Arizona, the state of Arizona. And so that was fun. What a great track over there, Arizona Speedway, very accommodating, and more so, a lot of great action at that big 3/8 mile racetrack.
Well, don't forget, it took them one lap in the first main event to give us the first red flag of the year. So,
and it was the first rollover of the year. So
there were a lot of firsts in that first lap.
Hey, well, this is our first time out here at Bakersfield Speedway with you here on Race Feed X. So thank you all for tuning in, and we're going to make it a fun night. So what we're also going to do, if you're new to a stream with Low Budget TV, I don't know if we're any different from the other guys, but I can tell you this. We're going to be interacting with you all night long. Here we go. Heat race number 3 underway.
Green flag and oh, that's not the way to. That's not the way to start a night.
That'll bring out a car.
You see, I had this problem too when I was first learning how to park.
Yeah. You'd run into the parking curb.
I would actually usually launch over the parking curb, but
that happened
besides
today.
that point, yeah. Actually, speaking of the parking curb and launching over it, during the hot laps for these cars, we saw one car have a really wild ride. Almost looked like they were doing a stunt move.
Could have been trying to do an insane stunt bonus on a video game, but yeah, what happened was I believe a car had a stuck throttle out of nowhere, just completely refired the car, and the throttle cable was jammed all the way to the floor. Drove sideways. Poor kid was trying to control the car as the rear wheels were spinning.
Yeah, I'm not laughing at the kid. I remember turning around, looking up, and wondering what my microphone cable.
Hey, good thing we just bought a nice roll tape. But yeah, the kid spun up the victory podium there. What are you trying to do to me?
All right, that was me.
Spun up.
I promise I'll behave.
Do I need to?
No.
Do we need to take this out behind the announce booth?
We might have to.
I'll throw you upside down. Do you need to fix your problem over there? Do you need a timeout?
I'm gonna get fired.
How about you just unplug it and you're done for the night? Close Jeffrey's mic. All right, here we go. Gonna restart it again. But anyways, the kid crashed into the victory lane square. End of story. Luckily, the kid was just fine. I think it was a 3 mile an hour impact. But I'm sure he's scared. So out front, the number 14, that is J.D. Brown, followed by the number 9.
I'm not even plugged in.
What's going on? I'm sure our viewers are freaking out. Viewers, don't touch your computer or your tablets or your phone.
Well, I just want to say the white flag is in the air, and I was doing all that with an unplugged microphone, so now we're talking voodoo.
Hey, yesterday was Friday the 13th. Maybe someone cut the cables.
Checkered flag in the air for the number 14 machine of J.D. Brown. Finishing second is the number 9. Oh boy.
It's at the end of your cable is where the issue is.
It's right here. Right here.
The fun of working on the news. We go green in the first race for the junior mini dwarfs.
Tommy, this is one of our favorite divisions.
Hey, you sound good now.
Thank you.
And that was
a new mic cable we got there.
Well, hey, they don't make them like they used to.
All right, how about we get in the groove? You down with that?
Well, we were trying to get in the groove except for your mic cable.
Except for me, it's always me. I get it. Okay. Well, we have
battle for the lead. Oh, contact!
Side by side down the front straightaway, the 111 machine in the junior mini door. This is one of our favorite divisions because this is as young as they get.
And a pass for the lead. Ratcliffe moves into the lead, but then has to stop around lap traffic.
William Dolan in the 12X machine, holding his line, contacting up and over. Not quite flipping or tumbling, but he got a wheel up in the air. At least 3 inches of air that time. The 29J of Jaden Butler was going for it. White flag is in the air for your leader, the number 3 of Mason Ratcliffe. The 111 machine of Cole Forrester holds the second spot. And you see the 11E of Ethan Johnson trying to hold off your leader. He's going to do it, but your winner's going to be Ratcliffe in the 3. Coming across the line, the 12X of William Dolan. The 86 machine of Mallory Myers. And we also have the 33J of Jonathan Butler. Okay, now we can officially start this night of racing.
Yeah,
how about
ready to rock and roll. I love how we just said we were ready to rock and roll. Does anybody know that they're watching low budget TV right now on Race Feed X?
Well, they know we're probably going to rock and we're probably going to roll, but it's not going to be simultaneous in a beautiful form of music and dancing. Because we're actually wrecking on the back straightaway right now, just so you all know. These two cars got together earlier, and they got together just now. So, say the night's off to a good start. You talked a little bit to Jason. Coming from the news, you could tell because he's much better dressed than we are. That's not usually the case.
What, being better dressed?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm usually terribly dressed.
I guess I should say we're usually even.
We have people dress us at the station. It's the only reason I look good.
That's special.
It is. Very.
Green flag is out for the second junior mini dwarf heat race of the night.
Do you want to see why I love the junior mini dwarfs?
There's a speed difference.
The 33T is the perfect example.
He hasn't even made a lap yet.
He hasn't taken the green yet.
Tommy Swearingen in the 33T.
Oh, Tommy!
And up and over the curb all by himself.
Tommy, you know what that was? That was the aero pull. You could see how the air just pulled him around going into turn 1. These cars are so aero loose.
Yeah. Rusty Wallace would probably have to say something about that in draft lock mode. So he could have just gone out of... Tommy Swearingen is A-okay, except for he made the corner a little too soon there.
He was a half a lap down when they took the green. I would like to point that out.
Okay. All right. You know what? Let me give the kid credit, okay?
He's freestyling.
He shares your same name. All right? It's not his fault. I've seen you drive.
Yeah, it's with that Tommy name.
It is with the Tommy name.
Also in this field, your leader right now, the number 889 machine. That is Kaysen Sylvester. That's not going to be a surprise for him to be up front. And then right behind the number 24 yellow machine, that is driven by Trenton Yurto. The number 4 pulling up in line second place, Cade Lewis. And then the 22 on a mission, Trenton Rickle. Now, fun thing about the junior mini dwarfs, you're going to see it in the main event, most likely. You could also see it now, but when these kids, they have a brake pedal, but they don't like to use it when they have to come to a stop.
Well, when you have a car in front of you, what's the point of using up the pads, right?
Absolutely. The number 17, all these things for the new viewers out here on Race Feed X right now. We're going to mention these things, and you just bank them. Put them in your brain in a corner and bank on it to happen, because I guarantee you it will. Allie Young in the number 17, the 54 rounding out the field, Braden Bell.
Chloe Jones headed to the pits, but I believe she's already had her fun.
She has.
So, here we go, going green.
We go racing, Sylvester in the number 89. out in front in his sprint car. We were mentioning how the fabrication of the bodies are also all fun. Well, how about a sprint car mini dwarf out here in front of a modified?
And they're closing in onto lap traffic. Now, again, I want to hammer in the ages of this division. Woohoo! Nice move by Sylvester. Tommy, we have some drivers in this as young as 5 years old.
Yeah, 5 to 8, I believe, is the age group of the junior mini dwarves. 8 to 12.
And it's incredible.
Or maybe 8 to 10. Maybe 8 to 10.
Oh, boy, Yurto. Going to give your leader a little bit of trouble.
And we'll make a change for the lead on that lap. The number 4 gets by Cade Lewis, but you can see Sylvester on a charge to the inside, battle for the lead. Some contact, they muscle through the corner, and now split the lap traffic. So Sylvester making sure he's going to win this heat race by all means.
I'm looking forward to this main event.
This is going to be a good one. The sprint car, Sylvester takes a checkered flag over Lewis. That one was exciting.
And like we said, like, you can see the difference just a year makes for these drivers, Tommy. The confidence level in these drivers is just, you see it. I mean, literally, you're seeing drivers getting behind the wheel for the first time tonight. It is early in the season. This is the first mini dwarf race for some of these drivers. It's gonna be fun to just kind of watch these drivers grow throughout the year. Who knows who's gonna be a contender by the end of the season? Mod Light Heat Race number 1 getting ready to go. 5 cars with the 14 of Jeff Fry leading the way. The number 1 machine of Kylie Forrester moving up from the mini dwarfs. The 171 machine is Tim Varney. The 28M is Matt Mayo. And the 71 machine of Candy Varney. Green flag is in the air. And 1 car round, it's Matt Mayo in the 28M.
That car looked like it could have had a mechanical issue.
Yeah, it was a very slow spin. The car's back running. Mayo, probably not used to cars these light.
Yeah.
He's a regular. Uh-oh, Mayo around again in turn number 3, this time in front of the leaders. And that will bring out the first caution.
It's like the car stalls out when he gets off the gas pedal or so.
It's like the brakes engage like he's driving on Autopia at Disneyland.
Could be.
Maybe that's the trick. Green flag back in the air, lap number 1. These mod lights, very strongly used right now as kind of a, I guess you could say, a connector division, something that branches between, say, the mini dwarfs for these young drivers that are out here, and modifieds. So these mod lights are actually a pretty quickly starting to grow division that we've been seeing.
Yep.
Kylie Forrester and the 1 machine being one of those examples of a driver who's moved up from the mini dwarfs.
These type of cars in relation to asphalt racing would kind of be like a legend car, where they're really, really tough to drive, and once you can master these, you can almost drive anything with a power to weight ratio.
And they compare even more to that, Tommy. This division was set up in a way to beat that type of spec class where you can go somewhere, if you break a bumper, you break a part, you can go and get it. As opposed to doing the racing that we kind of do, and you have to go to a junkyard or go to the auto parts store to get a new piece.
Yeah, or just fabricate it yourself and call it good. But yeah, absolutely.
Jeff Fry, the 14 machine, leading lap number 5 of 8 in this heat race. The best battle is for the 3rd position. It was Candy Varney in that 71 yellow machine trying to get around the number 1 of Kylie Forrester. Varney going to swing it way wide. That's not going to work to Candy's advantage. And yellow flag coming out for the 2nd time in this heat race. Lap number 6, we're going to watch the person that they call Mr. Wiggles here at Bakersfield Speedway. It looks like some kind of maybe bumper bar?
Yep.
Or is that Gandalf's walking stick?
Could be both.
Huh.
But yes, it does look like a bumper.
Yeah, that's kind of unique.
4 or 5 racing divisions. But tonight I think we've got a total of 6 or 7.
A lot of racing on tap. 2 laps to go in this heat race. Jeff Fry has just been in charge of this one. The 171's kind of held it within realm of his shadow, that being Tim Varney. And then then again, side by side now for third, it's going to be Candy Varney who's going to take over the third spot over Kylie Forrester. Forrester going to fight back on this final lap. The checkered's going to fly for Jeff Fry out of turn number 4. The 14 machine takes the checkered. The 171 of Varney and the 71 of Candy Varney is going to try and hold on to it. But Kylie Forrester,
That got scary.
I don't know actually. Did Forrester beat Varney back to the line?
Well, there's 271s now.
Well, yeah, which would be second and third, which would mean Candy actually, what could have easily been on our highlight reel, turned out to be a good save by Candy. Nice racing. Heat race number 2 up next. Heat race number 2 for the Mod Lights.
On track, the number 38. Starting on point, Carson Sylvester, graduate of the Mini Dwarfs. 2 Carsons outside on the front row. The number 17, that is Anthony Balcazar. And contact. And that could have been ugly, but we keep it going. The number 13.
I don't know if it's done being ugly.
Jerry Flippo, the number 44, making a huge run to the inside. From last to first, Zach Forrester. No surprise there. You'll see that name up front. And the number 12, Jeff Thompson, rounds out the field.
We have seen one of these tumble in their few amounts of heat races they've had here. Sylvester slips up, holds on to it out of turn number 2.
Forrester, man, he wasted no time.
Well, it's obvious that Forrester took this race on rookie settings because he passed the whole field in one straightaway.
You heard Forrester in the last heat race. You're going to hear him in this heat race. The difference is, right now you're later than number 44. Zach Forrester is the father of Kylie Forrester that just raced in the white number 1.
We were at the Bakersfield Speedway banquet, and there were like some jokes kind of flying around about what's going to happen if Kylie and you are racing to the finish line.
And you know what Dad said? It's all good when the trophy stays in the house.
Yeah, that's what he said with the helmet off.
Exactly. But he did say he would not consider wrecking her if it came down to the win. So,
now that's a dad right there.
That's a true dad right there. Sylvester has some damage. He's going to pull off the track right now. So we are down to 4 cars remaining. 2 laps to go with the number 44, Zach Forrester out front. Jeff Thompson on the number 12 machine in the second spot. He was another driver to start in the back of the pack. Worked his way up. Balcazar in the 17, a graduate of the Mini Dwarfs, as well as Jerry Flippo. Jerry raced his car last year, and he'll spin it out in turn number 3.
And it looks like that will bring out a yellow.
No, it won't.
The flag man was reaching for it.
He was, but then Flippo got the car started. Checkered flag for Zach Forrester in the number 44. Mod Light heat race. Thompson second. Third goes to Balcazar. And fourth is the number 13, 1 lap down of Flippo. Hobby Stock heat race number 1 of the night. We go green on point. The number 87W, Lloyd Wren. Battling with a 37, that is Aaron Stewart. Mike Hill Jr. in the 59. He'll make a move into the second spot.
Stewart has trouble down the back straightaway after winning a heat race last weekend.
Flip-flop, Tyler Irwin, the number 72. The number 15, Noah Allen. And rounding out the field, the 79-year-old, actually 80-year-old driver of the number 78, Ralph Cook. Lap number 1 up on the scoreboard. Mike Hill Jr. making a run for it right now in the second spot. He looks to be on a mission for Lloyd Wren in his 87W. Hill's got these hobby stocks figured out, wouldn't you say?
You know, it has been a very quick transition for Mike Hill Jr.
And into the tires. Keeps it going.
Dang you, Duke boys!
And Hill is going to hang it a little too much with that rear end.
Well, he does a quick 360 and continues on. Lap number 3. Not a good one for the 59 machine. Lloyd Wren Jr., our leader in the 87W, followed by the 72 of Irwin and the 50 of Allen. You know, I thought there was a mechanical issue on Aaron Stewart's machine, Tommy. The 37 did not want to get up to speed in the first 2 turns, but looking at that car now, it seems to be up to speed.
He could be sandbagging. Could be sandbagging. You never know. Once you put that helmet on, the strategy changes. Uh-oh! Noah Allen Allen up towards the wall, does not make contact.
Did he just lock him up?
Could have locked him up, or maybe has the right front tire flat. We'll see in this corner. It should have hit the wall by now at that speed. So Noah Allen, maybe he just hit a slick spot and the wheels turned left and the car went straight.
We've seen that before, though, Tommy. When the track gets like this, we have talked to a couple drivers about the track, specifically some modified drivers, and they were really complimenting the state of the track right now.
Woo, contact. You saw the 50 machine hit a bit of a rut in turn number 4 and hooked that car.
Or that rut might be named Aaron Stewart in the 37 machine.
Out of turn number 4, the 87W, Lloyd Wren Jr. takes the checkered flag. Heat race for the Hobby Stocks. Flip-flop Tyler Irwin in the second spot. Third, Ralph Cook, Noah Allen, Stewart, and Hill.
Bam.
Now, for the people that are new to us on Low Budget TV here on Race Feed X, the reason why you heard about us saying, oh, we'll switch next time. And what I'm going to do is I'll make you a deal. You're going to take the next 2.
You do that for me?
I would do that just for you.
Okay. All right.
But what we do is, see, I guess we're a 2-man band. We have the camera that we film from. We plug in our microphones, plug in our headphones, announce while we film. So we got a guy with a microphone behind the camera filming the race. We got a guy connected to the camera as well through our headphones, announcing right next to each other. So Jeffrey and I will announce together throughout the night and film together. It gets pretty crazy. What happens is we switch off after every race so we don't get too tired. Luckily, we don't film cup races, or else our hands would probably cramp up at Daytona.
Well, who knows? Getting ready for the next heat race number 2 for the Hobby Stocks. Leading us away is going to be a graduate from the mini stock division, the 92 of Gene Glover, going to take the green flag in his 92 machine. 6X, that's Robert Lawler with his pink wheels. The 33, Robert Swearingen, going to get into Lawler.
And then keep it going.
Ooh. Now, remember, we mentioned Swearingen earlier, that 33 machine?
Yep.
Well, remember what we said about it being exciting? About how tracks struggled to contain him? Glover around in front of Collier. Collier barely avoids that 18 machine after a strong run last weekend.
Back-to-back races for these Hobby Stocks. They started their season last weekend. Collier taking the main event checkered flag.
Glover's hood might get exciting during this heat race. Also in this field, I mentioned the 18 machine narrowly avoiding. Tommy just talked a little bit about him. Oh boy, Glover I think just found a jump over in turn number 2. Oh boy. And Perry Alderman. Boy, this is exciting to watch. I don't know what's going on.
This is the battle for 4th that we're watching, and these two are trying to find a way to figure 8 race.
Alderman gonna spin it out over turns 1 and 2. He's gonna wait for Glover to scoot on by. And rounding out the field, the number 84 machine that you saw getting a little squirrely out of 4 was the 84 Chris Settlemeyer. He came from our American stock division.
Gene Glover, I don't know if you mentioned it, came from the mini stock division last year. So
Glover, I mean, credit given to him. He led the first 2 laps of this heat race before his spin. Not a bad first 2 laps for him. And you see, Tommy, I've noticed that the material of these Hobby Stocks is always kind of upgrading, you know? Drivers always trying to find the edge. Why don't you zoom in on the front end of the 92 machine of Gene Glover going through turns 3 and 4. Look at this. He developed a hood that actually made his wheel cover fall off, but also just gives a bunch of air underneath the hood. You see that?
air is good, makes more horsepower. It also keeps it cool on a warm Bakersfield night like tonight.
Yes, it does. White flag in the air, checkered flag going to come out to the 6X machine of Robert Lawler, 33 Swearingen, and 18 of Collier. Going to round out the top 3. See Settlemeyer crossing the line in 4th. Glover, despite a spin, will finish on the lead lap, as well as Alderman, another of the graduates from the American Stock Division. Modifieds, IMCA Modifieds, heat race number 1 with Steve Bowles in the orange machine leading us away, and Ethan Dodson leading us into turn number 1. J Marks in the 97 machine, he grabbed the second spot, but the caution's going to come out, and we're going to have to do that all over again.
Yeah, but see, they're waiting for this coverage question to come out.
I just got smacked in the face by a Skeeter. Man. Hey, are they holding up the check? What is this?
A deck lid. Is that off the 28P again?
Uh-oh.
John Piker.
Now you see again, Tommy. Let's explain why.
He lost it in the hot lap portion of the day.
So were they threatening him? Were they saying, we know where this came from?
I think they're just going to keep it. If it's going to keep falling off, why not just keep it?
Yeah. Well, going through the rest of the field, Bill Eagleston in the 15E. J Marks, the 97 machine. 28P is John Piker, the one we've been talking about. Then you have Rob Sanders in the number 10. And rounding out the field, the number 2 of Danny Lauer.
We have the 14. I kind of saw him having some issues. They're making contact still. Steve Bowles and Danny Lauer. Bowles in the 14B, Lauer in the number 2.
But they didn't wreck. They were just wrecking.
No, they just, yeah. The first Race FeedX coverage question of the night is posted on our Facebook page.
Bowles has pulled it into the infield.
LBTV Productions, Low Budget TV. Look us up on Facebook right now.
Yeah, and shoot us a like.
And answer the question. We'll be happy to interact with you all night long, starting with the first question.
It's always worth clarifying. Shoot us a like, just don't like to shoot us.
Exactly. First question is, where are you watching from? It's always a fun go-to. Ethan Dodson out front, the number 174 Golden Empire Towing IMCA Modified in the second spot. That is a 97 of the Sea Gypsy J Marks. Rob Sanders in the third spot. Your top 3 with some heat now. The bouncing 28P John Pike.
Tommy, talking about your leader, the 174 of Ethan Dodson, spoke a little bit to him earlier as I was setting up some cameras on track. He was looking at the track and he said tonight this is going to be a good track. Now, we talk about a good track, Tommy. I believe that it can kind of go either way depending on your driver. But from what you can tell on the track, what you've seen today, would you say it's the tackiness right now that these drivers are looking at?
Yeah, you can see these A-mods there hooked up, except for we can start seeing some ruts forming or some bumps. You can see these modifieds starting to really hammer them. Checkered flag for Ethan Dodson, but J Marks just lost a spot over in turn number 2 by hitting one of those bumps, completely bouncing up in the air, and the 10N of Rob Sanders made his kill and moved up into the second spot.
You can kind of see it forming over here with those dark spots kind of mid-turn 2.
But we are going to see some very fast, hooked up racing here tonight. This is just the heat races for the A-mounts.
Getting ready for heat race number 2 of the IMCA Modifieds, the 11X machine that is driven by last year's champion, Kyle Heckman. Green flag is in the air. The number 7 machine started to his outside.
Oh, boy.
Bump 3 wide. Holder throws it in, still 3 wide out of turn number 4. Roger Holder in the 24 machine. He's to the outside of the 5L of Cody Laney. See the 2J of Justin Schweitzer, and rounding out the field, the number C9 of Chad Rickenback.
You can tell by the number 24's driving style that he is named the West Coast Wild Man. Roger Holder, he's been the source of action in this heat race.
We've seen him get on 2 wheels, kind of running the same line he's been.
A driver that will never let up.
Rickenback to the inside of Schweitzer. That's for the 5th position. Schweitzer going to slide up, Rickenback going to take the spot. Schweitzer gets a good run out of turn 2, but it's not going to be enough to get back on the bumper. Holder still, he's lifting up his left rear tire off the ground. Wild man. car is going to cross the line cleanly. 8 laps of action.
That was a heat race right there. What's going on? What are you doing?
But I'm pretty sure that kid is not holding the checkered flag right.
He's letting him go green. No. In fact,
Do you see? Do you see? That's why it is so important.
You got to hold it right. He's holding it wrong still, but he's actually facing the right way.
Okay, he's getting closer. See, if he was holding it all the way wrong, we would have rolled over a car. We just spun one out.
But luckily, I mean, I think he was the one that called off the caution, or called off the green.
Well, I believe that's our head official down there.
Most likely. On the pole, the number 198, that is Robbie Sawyer to his outside. The number 5B, Brett Bennett. Inside row number 2, the number 51B, Surfer Dude, Brian Clark. Outside row number 2, the number 4, that is not Joey Antis. And we've been tricked by him before.
Never again.
The Dominator, Brad Pounds. Inside row number 3, the number 11, that is driven by
R.C. Whitwell.
All right, and to his outside, Troy Mars Jr. We go green. Pounds scoots up the track. Bennett takes the lead out of turn number 2 with Sawyer in tow. You see a bit of a gap between second and third. Clark in third. Battle for fourth. Some great racing right here on screen. R.C. Whitwell has won his share of racing early on this year. Oh, some contact between Pounds and Whitwell.
You know, I mentioned Troy Morris Jr. In the 07X machine. Kind of an interesting thing when we came in the pit area, he had 2 cars ready to go.
Okay, so if I've seen it correctly, 2 identically prepped cars, paint scheme and all, battle for the lead on turn number 4.
Yeah, Bennett slipped up into the marble. Into the cushion, they call it out here.
Bennett's going to hold on the high side, so that high side's got some speed in it here tonight. You can see the right rear leaning up against the cushion. But
Yeah,
Troy
but too
Morris
much cushion is bad.
bringing 2 identically prepped cars. Bennett again up in the rough stuff, and he will get past. Moving to the second spot. Sawyer making the move here in lap number 6. Morris, I believe, bringing 1 car that has a crate engine, and the other car looks to have an open motor.
Bennett's not done with Sawyer here.
No, he about drove through the 198 going into turn number 3. Great battle. Bennett with a fast car, it looks like, but he's got to get around the 198 of Robbie Sawyer. In turns number 3 and 4, Bennett with a charge, but the 198 of Robbie Sawyer takes the checkered flag. Your winner in this heat race.
Towns makes a last lap pass in the 4 machine to get around the 51B of Brian Clark. 8 laps. That was a very racy heat race.
Very good sets of heat races here for the A-mounts here tonight. So,
Robbie Sawyer, for those that don't know the name Robbie Sawyer,
I'm surprised you don't know the name of Robbie Sawyer if you don't know.
let's just say that guy is exciting to watch in general.
You know what he does?
Not care?
Not care. Green flag is out for the IMCA stock cars. And Pat Biggs making it exciting in the number 77X. Rick Childress Sr. on the number 44. He will be leading the field on lap number 1. Wenzel, the number 45, in the second spot. And
The 233 machine
of Ryan Rice.
I'm pretty sure that car used to be a police car or something.
It could have been. It could have been.
Monte Carlo.
It is a Monte Carlo.
So it's not it's not what I wanted it to be.
You know what that car could have been actually? Steve Park's old Bush Series.
That's a good point. You know, I did make the connection at first.
Remember the AC Delco number 3?
Yeah, that thing just spells Steve Park.
That is. Oh, folks, we don't even know what's going to come out of our mouths next. But we do see 2 battles brewing, especially the one for third. Ryan Rice to the inside of Pat Biggs. And are seeing a battle starting to cook for the lead.
Well, we were able to watch that one come to completion. Now we move on to the battle for the lead. Childress trying to hold off Wenzel.
Actually, I got to correct myself. Troy Petit, the number 45.
Petit.
Mike is actually making a move to the inside of Rick Childress Sr.
So the 44 and 45 first and second. Then we have the 46 and 47 in third and fourth.
What race are you at?
Oh, my bad.
In fact, no, actually, we don't even have.
I could have sworn Sesame Street had this thing going in order for me.
Sponsored by the number 44. You see the battle for the lead
I think Childress has a problem.
ends abruptly because we see fluid down from the number 44.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of fluid too, Tommy.
2 laps fluid. Now everybody's got to keep their cars under that, and we might be doing some track prep after this heat race, unless it's water.
It's a lot of whatever it is.
So the 45, that is Troy Petit taking the checkered flag. Rice second, and third is Biggs.
That was a good battle for third, but not in good circumstances for Rick Childress. We're going to take a look and see what kind of fluid that's putting down, and we'll move on. Green flag for heat race number 2. No, just kidding.
See, they didn't like the fact that I was checking our Facebook.
No. Has anyone answered the...
No, not yet. I think everybody's here tonight.
watching that on Bakersfield Speedway.
Which that's okay too.
I should answer it.
You don't have. I mean, we've seen people in the pits, especially, watching on their.
Well, no one answered because we haven't told them the starting lineup for this heat race.
Let's do it.
I don't blame them at all. The number 5 machine of Joe Humphrey, 5 alive. He's going to be starting on the pole to his outside. The number 99. That car piloted by Lauren Diarmond. Row number 2, that's 17 machine to the inside, is Ron Hurt. And rounding out this field, the number 55 of Rich Sylvester. Now everyone's probably posting on Facebook. Low budget TV. Getting ready to go. Green flag is in the air. They like that start a lot better. 8 laps ahead of us. How will this one turn out? Woo. 99 machine. You can see the difference in speed between these and the hobby stocks. And the 99 car really working on trying to get around Humphrey. Diarmond running a bit of a higher line. It gives them a big run out of the turn. You see down the back straightaway, they're both kind of snaking around looking for who's running where. Diarmond looking a little bit higher, but Humphrey's going to hold his lower line. It's working for him right now. Lap number 2. Tommy, you mentioned the 80-year-old of Ralph Cook, and a lot of smoke coming out. Hurt! Trouble with the 5 machine, and Hurt goes up in the air. A lot of left front damage it looks like for Hurt in the 17. He had just started to smoke. And lap number 3 is chaos for the IMCA stock cars.
And Hurt's car could be hurt after that one. You saw the air that he picked up. There was a lot of action there in that one corner.
Let's keep an eye on the 17 machine. I'll say the black flag coming out to the 17, but the biggest, I believe, damage came to the track cone over in turn number 4.
It got annihilated, but
it did.
It has been erected.
You know what? That thing.
Wait.
That thing comes to work.
Wait a minute.
What?
I just had to focus on it. That's all. That's all. So the cone must have taken a Viagra, and he is back in action.
They give him the 1 to go. You see the damage on the Diarmond machine. He and Hurt got together. That kind of gives an idea of the amount of damage that we can expect from the 17. Humphrey looked like he just a lot started happening there. I was talking about hobby stocks. They were spinning out and crashing. I mean, jeez.
Car is going airborne.
Man. Well, how about we restart this with 5 laps to go in this heat race? The green flag. Diamond, 99. We'll see how that thing drives now with its right front damage. It looks cosmetic, but we're going to find out.
Hopefully it doesn't cut that tire.
Woo, boy. One car is going to stop over in turn number 3.
Quite literally stop.
Like, I think he stood on the brakes with both feet.
Unless that car
and Humphrey,
now.
Tommy Joe Humphrey, and the number 5 machine is going to pull off the track.
Yeah.
I want you to realize what this means. If the 55 machine is broken, that means we have one car left in this heat race to run 4 more laps.
It looked like that 55 car had something lock up on him because it literally came to a stop.
Here you go. The first time I've ever seen a heat race have the check. I've never seen a shortened heat race.
Winner by default, the last car standing.
Now that's how you do a demolition derby. Beautiful.
Another night on the streets of Bakersfield. Starting lineup, Jeffrey, how about it?
Let's do it. Heat race number 1 for the Pro Stock Division. Pretty good field in here. We clocked in, I believe, 17 cars before hot laps. I think an extra car arrived, and we'll see how many make it to the heat races. Got to mention Lee Jensen in the 72 machine took a gnarly hit during qualifying. If you were here earlier, you caught that one. Saw what happened there. Looked like something broke coming out of turn number 4.
Yeah, when they towed the vehicle off, it could have been after the wall, but I'm going to say it happened before. The right front tie rod was, in fact, broken in half.
Well, they're going to get the one to go this time by. And we're going to go through the starting lineup, starting on the inside of row number 1, the M11 machine of Clay Daly. Tommy, he's starting up front. That should be a kind of a concern for everyone else in the field.
Yeah, that's bad news. But how about on the outside of row number 1, Sport Mod main event winner last week, number 68J, Billy the Kid Simpkins.
Yeah, I got to say, he hopped right into that Sport Mod. He was ready to go.
So that could be bad news for Clay Daly.
It could be. Wayne Kaufman in the number 5 machine will start to the inside of row number 2. And to his outside, the number 4 machine, last time we saw racing on asphalt, Christian Copley. Row number 3, the 718 of Aaron Cervantes, and rounding out the field, the 33 machine of Rob Gilbertson. Green flag is in the air. And 3 wide in the back with some contact. Cervantes trying to close the door. Will get past the number 4 of Copley. It's kind of funny, Tommy. We walked up to the ticket window when we were getting our credentials today, and Christian was there, and he looked at us and he went, "You guys probably don't remember me, do you?"
We did. And he's battling with Cervantes, the only battle on track right now.
Yeah, this is boy, Cervantes sideways, and that's gonna be Gilbertson getting the worst end of it. Slammed into the back of Copley, so Copley may have a bit of a tire rub. I don't see any smoke coming from it. Doesn't look like the handling's changed much on that car. But Tommy, it's interesting because we usually, I know last time we streamed here this division race, and I think there were like, what, 6 cars? number 4, take the victory in this heat race. Simpkins in third, and again goes around the 33, and that's gonna cause some havoc for Cervantes, who was right on the rear bumper of the 4th Copley. Copley was able to get back around Cervantes and take over the 4th position for the end of that race. And here goes Mr. Wiggles, ladies and gentlemen. I sure hope that's his actual nickname and not something that like they just joked about today.
Yeah, because we are putting it on Race FeedX as Mr. Wiggles.
And therefore it is now fact.
Fact. And this is online. Everything is true when it's online. Everything. Speaking of online, have you gone and read your medical conditions online yet?
You know what? I did.
Cow.
I had an itch.
I had cancer. I went online and made me feel like I just had the common cold. But when
usually it's the other way around for people.
But exactly. But if I have like a stomach ache, I guarantee you it's because
late entry.
I guarantee it's because I've got cancer or something like that. So Mr. Wiggles now goes down in the history of internet as the name for Andy there in the red fire suit.
He does a great job. All the staff out here work really hard to keep these shows moving smoothly. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. You could use a race. Here we go. Green flag is flying. Heat race number 2 for the Pro Stocks. Brady Bell, the number 54. I believe he's won 2 out of the last 3, maybe 3 out of the last 4 Pro Stock races out here at Bakersfield Speedway, but he's got a challenger to the inside, the number 3D, that is Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson and Bell duking it out for the lead. Lonnie Welch, who tagged the wall in hot laps earlier with his right rear, battling out with the number 72 of Lee Jensen. 2 guys who hit the wall are battling for 3rd. Also in this field is the number 5 machine of Wayne Kaufman, and no, that's not Wayne Kaufman. That is the 5N of Frank.
Uh-oh, Mike Johnson's off the pace with smoke.
My bad. Yeah, that car is dead stick. You see no power out of the 3D machine. Could have broken a motor. I don't see any fluid down on the track. Mechanical issue. The number 93 rounding out the field, that is driven by
Tim Bewley. Well, that's unfortunate for Johnson, but a lot of credit has to go out to the 72 of Lee Jensen's team. A lot of work in that pit area had to have been done to get this car running, and not just running, but competing.
And lucky for him, there's plenty of time between, not plenty, there's never plenty of time, but there was a lot of time between when he crashed into the wall and just now the first heat race for this division. Out of turn number 4, Brady Bell will take the white flag. Battle for the 2nd spot continues. Lonnie Welch and Lee Jensen.
Still see those sparks flying, but not getting any worse. Like you mentioned, it could just be the brakes.
Brady Bell will come across the line. Your winner of the heat race, number 2 for the Pro Stocks, and Lee Jensen will move his way up to 2nd.
What a story that would be if Lee Jensen can come back and win. Now, Johnson is able to drive his car off the track.
Okay, but it did leave a little bit of fluid where he was parked. So they've got to figure that out quickly before we head into the main events.
Heat race number 3 for the Pro Stocks. Getting ready to go. Number 13M, that's Matt Mayo, who's going to start on the pole on the inside of the 04 of Tim Randolph. Green flag is in the air. Now, there was one car in this field. First off, I want to mention that 13M is having smoke, but that smoke's been there ever since qualifying. Never presented itself as an issue. I don't know what it is. It doesn't look good.
It's blue smoke. That's not good. That's oil.
But I wanted to mention the 38T, driven by Doug Thornton. The caution is going to come out. Could be debris. But if you take a look at the 38T, this thing did not sound good at all. Actually, I want to go out and say that 3 of these cars had interesting qualifying runs. The 38T, wait till he's back up to speed to take a listen to that car. The 30K machine, who's actually not on our list, I know we've seen that car before. I'm trying to think, can you remember who's behind the wheel of that?
Santa Maria, though. We got to look at that sheet.
But that car was a late entry. Was not here when the whole list got put together. Barely made it in the qualifying line as they were pulling it out, and he was able to make it in, get some qualifying in. The 23 machine is there. That's Troy Lambert. Now, Troy's car was way off the pace. It's going a lot faster. Actually, I should say it's going about the same speed it was in qualifying right now. Looks like they were able to overcome that issue because that car is not that far off the pace when we just did that first lap. So a couple cars having some interesting runs. I also mentioned Matt Mayo on the 13M machine who's leading with a smoke. I did not see why that caution came out. But that's also because I don't pay attention. You ready?
I'm ready.
Here comes the flag. Green flag's in the air. Matt Mayo. Randolph has an exciting exit of turn number 4. He's actually going to get pressure from Thornton. We're going to take a listen this time by to the 38T, see if it still sounds a little rough.
Oh, yeah. It's rough.
Yeah, and Mayo's smoke does look like it's getting worse. It looks to appear right about where he's getting back on the gas. And the 38T again. That thing sounds like a dinosaur. Battle for the lead. It's Randolph to the outside. Woo! Cut off into turn number 3. He's going to go to the inside this time. Side by side. Pro Stock Racing. Randolph takes the lead on lap number 4. Mayo's going to try and fight back. I don't know how long that 13M machine's going to last. And the 23T of Lambert gets the wall out of turn number 4 and continues on. Yeah, this could be the heat race of mechanical issues that aren't taking drivers out. Oh, Mayo's going to spin it out. Don't know if that's related to his issue.
That could have been it. That could have been all that motor wrote.
Yeah, right through the center of the corner. If it shut off, he would have had nothing to shove him through.
No, he got it fired back up. I'm smelling burning oil, though. You can see the cloud of blue oil smoke.
Yeah, I smell it, too. Kind of hard to miss. But gotta wonder if whatever it is something that they felt like they weren't gonna get fixed or couldn't fix in between, because there was obviously smoke coming out of that thing during qualifying as well. Green flag out. Lambert, that 23 just took a tire and repositioned it, one of the tractor tires. White flag is out for Tim Randolph in the 04 machine. 38T still holding on to that second spot. Doug Thornton and the 30K sitting in third. Checkered flag for Tim Randolph. Thornton, the 30K machine, like we mentioned, late entry, and the 23T will round out these heat races. We want to do a sign-off here on YouTube for our heat races. Thank you all for joining us. And if you are interested in the DVDs, going to be a good night of racing ahead. Main event action just stacked. And we've already seen a main event that was incredibly exciting. So we can say this honestly. Folks, thank you for joining us. We're Low Budget TV. And that is a wrap on heat races. March 15th, 14th, 13th. It doesn't matter.
Some one of those days in March.
There we go.